The concept, I don't know. I think it's just me like cataloging fucked up shit that I've seen and like trying to make little stories out of it, you know? As I got older, I started to realize that that shit's like a lot more common than I used to think when I was a little kid, you know? When I was younger, I still feel it now. I thought the world was going to be something much different than what it is. And then you get older and you just start to realize and hear more and more things. I feel like every week I'm like, wow, this is fucked up. This is fucked up, you know? Typical story started, I wrote the beginning of it when I worked at Laboo Sandwich Shop, Sacramento, California. I would just be washing dishes, like thinking of songs to write. One day I was just like wiping down a table with a cloth and it just popped in my head and I looked up. I was like, that's not bad. Working with a producer named Jason and we made the song, put it to it. Yeah. It's the typical story where the bassist kills the singer, the guitarist and the drummer find they're in love with each other. Dude, the bassist kills the singer part. I don't know. It just would be weird to be a bassist, dude. You're always looking at the front man. Front man's in the front, whatever. Someone getting on the spotlight. I don't know. I just try to write like the weirdest story I could, basically. It's the story of the kid who clearly won't know what to say when the love of his life starts to calmly walk away. I had a flight to LA that I was supposed to get on to do. We had some meeting. They're at a session with someone, and then I had this ex-girlfriend that we dated for like a year and a half or something, broke up. So right when this, like, I was working on the album, we like stopped talking as much. So I went over, like I was supposed to get on a flight. My suitcase was on and I just walked out of the airport and went to her house and like talked to her for a bit and just tried to like get some closure or whatever. And we talked about if we should continue dating. And I think it was like a for sure reference to that. And it's the story of the dad who decides to chase his dream. He quits his job, he falls apart, and he loses everything. And it's the story of the kid who just wants to make a record, loves and crafts it, but nobody ever cares about it well. I made my first album. It's called Hobo Johnson's 1994 Toyota Corolla. So I made it in my car, like lived in my car and made my first album in it. And I remember once I like had it finished, I thought like, dude, people are gonna love this. Everyone's gonna freak out. No one liked it at all, listened to it at all. Dude, they don't talk about it too much. I took it off all the internet. It's not very good, I don't think. I can understand why people didn't like it, but some hardcore fans, you can find it on like the depths of YouTube somewhere and they'll listen to it. Yeah. Hey, what's your name? Talking's for the guys you hate. We should sit in silence while we think of what to say. And hey, I don't think this is working out. Will you forget I even asked you to come over to my house? The whole course is about when you like invite someone over to your house, a girl, whoever it is, and then you sit there and you obviously don't like each other. It just doesn't like, you guys can't figure out shit to talk about. And then you basically trying to get them to leave, but in like the nicest way you can, I guess, by just saying weird shit. After me and my girlfriend broke up that one time, I was like trying to date people. It just didn't really work that well. And hey, I don't think I know much, but I know I couldn't take a good punch, so if you feel like I've been talking enough, just tell me to shut up and I will gladly shut the fuck up. So I've never been punched in the jaw before, but I've seen videos of dudes getting punched in the jaw, like sucker punched, and I don't know, it's tough to tell, like it's tough to like see yourself. Before you get punched in the jaw, it's hard to see if you could get punched in the jaw hard. And it's like some dudes just got fucking like granite jaws, you know? And mine's kind of like just normal looking. And I'm afraid of everything staying the same or worsening. So what's the point of finding calm when calm to me isn't settling? Settle down, little kid, your bones are shaking in your skin. Go and try and take a breath, though nothing more, nothing less. Whenever I feel bad or like depressed or anxious, I just feel like almost like not able to handle like an adult life, you know? So it makes me feel like a little kid or whatever. Sometimes I legit feel that if I'm really anxious, I'll feel like almost that same feeling of your bones shaking in your skin, you know? I think I've always just been anxious, but I started to realize that it's a real like issue probably in the last like 3 or 4 years. I like start talking to people and I'm like, wait, you don't feel this, you know? It's the typical story about the king who had it all except for citizens who didn't want his head up on a wall. It's the typical story of the wife who couldn't quit, being in love with such a giant piece of shit. It's the story of the queen who could never ever think of any redeeming qualities a man could ever bring. I don't know, just a powerful woman trying to figure out like what men even, what's the point of them, you know? I think dudes are just like gross. I feel like dudes just naturally have this weird like complex of being dudes, you know? It's a story of the dog who wanted to run away until he learned that his life is much safer inside a cage. It's really just a metaphor for like my own life. I like imagine this grandiose life that I could have for myself where fucking play rock music and drive cars and drink, you know? And then I get it and I just realized that it's not, it makes me feel worse. It's kind of similar to the dog in the cage. It's like before I was in a cage, and then I get out of the cage, I look around, and I'm like, that wasn't good or better. And I don't really need much, just a place to be alone, and you don't really see much. I think I'm invisible. My mirror shows another guy. Guy doesn't do shit. He just sits and is miserable. I think the longest tour we did was 2 months straight, right? So when you're on a tour like that, you rarely look in the mirror. You just have shitty ass green rooms, or we do at least. And then I got back and I looked at myself in like my mirror in my house when I took a shower the next day. I like didn't even recognize myself. It was really weird. I had like long fucking hair, and I just felt, I don't know, I just felt like I was looking at another person. Everybody's gotta live a life that they didn't ask for. Why? Would he put me here just to die? Just to die. I think when writing that album, I just got really depressed for some reason. I wasn't at home very much. Like, as soon as we got back from tour, I went to LA, like, a lot of the time. I think that combined with, like, my fear of dying, probably, combined. So it's like, you're gonna put everyone here to, like, be stressed out all the time and, like, be sad, and then they're just gonna have to die, just kind of weird. No matter where our band goes, I think I've realized in the past, like, few months that it's never gonna make you feel happy or, like, better as a person. It's you still, it's like we're all humans. Our brains operate similarly. Like, it's all about, like, now and family and, like, love and art,